As a filmmaker, creative, whatever you want to label me as, I love watching what people are using in their everyday carry. Because for me, as a professional creative, it's always important to reevaluate what I'm taking on a shoot, what I take on my daily essentials, and making sure that the tools I have and the things I have on me are adding value to my life. I find that a lot of these videos really cover a wide variety of tech and have a lot of things that, necessarily you can go out and buy, but these are things that I carry, whether it be daily or, every other day or on special occasions. So I'm gonna break this down into the core essentials: phone, wallet, keys, knife, etc. And then I'm gonna have the additional add-ons depending on what I use day to day. So first, I think it's only necessary to talk about the keys. Nothing special, just a bunch of house keys, a fob for my gym, and then my car key. But let's really talk about what brings all these keys together. It is the key hook by Taylor Stitch. It's a raw, solid brass hook. It can hook onto your belt loop. I like how versatile it is. I also find myself kind of fidgeting with it, similar to like the kunai knife in Valorant. It's really fun. I think it's a very simple, affordable piece at around $32. I like how versatile it is. I usually hook it on to my pants. Most of the time though, I just stick it in my pocket. Let's just be honest here. For everyday headphones, whether it be the gym, just walking around the city, or if I have to get some quick editing done, I'm using the original Bose Quiet Comfort earphones. If you've been a subscriber for a while, about a couple of years ago, I did a EDC video where I still have these headphones, and that's always important to me because after all the other headphones that have come out in that 2 to 3 year time period, I haven't really felt the need to upgrade. I've always been tempted, but my partner has definitely talked me down throughout all that time. In this case, it's more of like, I want to promote proper consumption and not overconsumption in this case, where all the boxes that I need from a sound canceling earbud, these still deliver. They deliver high quality audio, they fit in my ear, they stay in my ear when I'm working out, and they might be bulky for today's standard, but the noise canceling, I think, definitely offsets that in the long run. So after keys, after earbuds, what are the next thing that I'm grabbing? It's my wallet. So I used to have a bulky Louis Vuitton bifold wallet I had bought off a friend from college, and I'd been using it for years. It was nice, it got the job done, it was tearing, but that was because I've used it for so long. My last birthday, for my birthday present, my partner got me this every other Thursday card holder. Now, I really do love this wallet. It's made me pare down a lot of the cards I take with me and make sure I'm only carrying the essentials. And its small shape and form factor allow me to sit in the car and not really feel it, which I think is the biggest part. I've always liked watching the what's in my wallet videos. So in this EDC, I'm gonna talk a little bit about some of the cards I use and why I recommend them. And don't take my advice as financial advice whatsoever. Make sure you check your own finances and make sure you're okay. But I do have a total of about 5 credit cards. I have 3 Chase cards. I have 1 Amex card and 1 Discover card. I started out with the Discover card, it's my oldest card, and then I have 3 Chase cards I opened, and I recently just opened the Amex. So the 2 cards I do take with me everywhere I go is the Amex Gold and the Chase Freedom Unlimited. For me, these are 2 amazing cards for whatever I need on a day-to-day. The Amex Gold really hits any kind of food I get, whether it be dining or groceries. And I have the Chase Freedom Unlimited, usually for gas or Costco. We do shop a lot at Costco, hence the Costco executive card. And if you don't have a Costco membership, you need to have a Visa card, so I can't use my Amex there. Most of the purchases I'm making while I'm out and about are either food or some sort of other item where if I'm getting 4 times points back on food and dining, where with the Chase Unlimited, I'm kind of getting a catch-all of 1.5. I know there are way better catch-all cards out there, but for me, I value Chase points and I'm trying to save them all up. And so I use the Chase Freedom Unlimited as sort of a catch-all for everything else. Those are the 2 credit cards that are currently sitting in my wallet. If you want to check out Credit Card YouTube and get a better handle on your finances and really figure out how to maximize how you're spending your money and getting the most return on it, I would highly suggest it. I would also preface this as, if you ever pay anything in interest in a credit card, you are not a credit card person. I use my credit cards simply like my debit cards, just allows me the freedom and flexibility and protection that comes with using a credit card. Let's say I purchase something, I'm not really happy with that, I can return it, and that's not money out of my checking account. It gets reimbursed back to the credit card, and I'm not out $250 in my checking account, so if a bill comes up, I can still pay it through my debit card as well. I do have a lot more cards on my digital wallet, and I live in a pretty big metropolitan area, so if I want to use a different card, I can. For now, those are the two physical cards that I carry with me every day. Next, let's talk about phones. And now I know when I say phones, it sounds like a lot, but this is the first time in my life I've had two phones at a singular time. My personal phone is the iPhone 14 Pro Max. I've had this since it came out. It's an amazing phone. I love the big screen. I love the camera on it, and I was bummed I didn't wait longer for the USB-C, but I already have a lot of the lightning port accessories, so for me it wasn't a huge deal. I have a pretty badly cracked screensaver and a yellowed out clear case. I think this is the Apple clear case, but I've had this for years and never really felt the need to upgrade, as it still protects my phone. It's just a different color. The screen protector was a Magic John screen protector from TikTok. Shout out Magic John. I've had a couple of them. I like them. They're cheap. They're nice. I mean, their advertising does work when they take the drill to it. That's where I was like, okay, cool. Now, for my work phone, I have an iPhone 15 Pro. I really do like it. This is pretty much a communication device I use for all work-related activities that comes with my 9-to-5. So I'm not gonna show you a little bit much because this is primarily a work device. I don't use it for communication outside of that, and it works as intended. On the back, I have a little Sounders attachable wallet, and it holds the work cards I need and use. So those are the essentials I carry with me every day. I've stopped carrying a knife because I never really used it. It would open up packages, but I don't really get that many packages, so it didn't really make sense to carry it around, and I just keep it at home and use it to open up packages. The thing I do carry more often than a knife, but fits in that same category, is a multi-tool. I think every creative who has a cage on their camera or is undoing a lot of base plates, doing a lot of different rigs, having a nice multi-tool that you can easily slip into your pocket and that allows you to adjust things quickly is super important. For me, I have the Small Rig X Film Riot multi-tool. Super small, nice. It works perfectly fine for what it is. It is a little bit hard to get the right one out. I used to have the Peter McKinnon one, but that one broke. So for now, I've been using this multi-tool for the past 10 or so months. So for me, definitely want to change this one out to something that's a little bit more adaptable with the cameras that I use, and maybe something that looks a little bit more sleek, and maybe something that looks a little bit more crafted. But this one does the job perfectly well. It tightens all the bolts I need. I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with it, and it's exactly what I paid for, and it does the job perfectly. The next thing on my list is the PGY-Tech CFA Express variant, card reader and card holder. Now, this has been very popular on YouTube and TikTok, and let's just say the marketing is very good. All the creators have been using it, and I was like, okay, let me at least try the hype. It's not too expensive of a piece, and it works exactly as intended. What I do like about it is that dual combo that it fits, where I don't necessarily have to have a card holder and an SD card reader anymore. It's combined both those two separate pieces into one, and it minimizes my work camera bag. The read speeds are very nice. I'm sure there are a lot of tech reviews out there that already talk about it in depth. I like how rugged it feels. It is kind of cumbersome when attaching to a laptop. However, with any SD card reader, you're not paying for a sleek, modern thing. But this is a work item that was bought by my 9-to-5. So it only holds my work cards and it only is used for work stuff. But I thought it was cool. The one I use for my personal stuff, to download my personal footage, etc., is the original Angelbird CF Express Type A card reader. Solid metal construction, very rugged, very nice, but it really just sits on my desk. I don't normally take it out with me because I always have this, and I can always just read cards like that. I do like how all the cards and everything are protected, and the wire is protected as well. And I can just throw it in a bag and I don't really have to worry about it, which is very nice when it comes to an SD card reader, where I've had cables from SD card readers get lost or they get bent and it affects either the read time or it just doesn't work. So having the cord built into this is honestly an understatement, and it's super nice and convenient being able to just know that, okay, I just need to grab that one thing and I can read and write all the cards I need. The last and final thing I think is just something fun. Handy cams have been very trendy over the last year or so, especially with the rise of dangy cams and other creatives out there who are using them and sharing their builds online. I always love seeing old tech make a resurgence and people really appreciating how far we've come, as well as also just like, this stuff is cool. Like, just because you have the newest and greatest thing doesn't mean it overtakes the purpose of what you had before. I think a lot of these handy cams are really great at capturing the moment in front of you, and it gives you that home video vibe that is great for memories. So the handy cam was given to me by my dad when I was like 10 years old, and I've always held on to it because of that aspect of, oh, it's a super simple camera. It's totally different than the interchangeable lens cameras that I have and that give you a really sharp, clear image that I can work well with, that look professional, where this just feels like you're hanging out with your friends. So it's really nice to take on, you know, outings with my partner, day trips, work events, whatever I need it for, and I can always get additional footage. Most of the time it just sits in the bag, I'm gonna be honest, but the times I do pull it out, I really love the image that comes out of it, and it's great. So yeah, that's kind of why I listed it in the additional piece section rather than the core everyday essentials. So that's it. Those are the things that I carry on a day-to-day basis, weekly basis, whatever. I wanted to give you a look into the things like an average person is buying. I try not to overconsume, but I do because I love tech and I love new things that come out. But at the same time, I don't want to promote overconsumption with this channel. So being intentional, making sure you're making the right decision when you're purchasing things, I think those are all important. Making sure that when you buy something, you're selling the thing that it replaced or getting rid of it, and things aren't cluttering up your life, and you're able to improve where your life is at with the pieces and tech that you're buying. If that makes any sense at all. Thank you guys so much for the love on the last video about my Ally X. I loved making that video. I'm still trying to figure out the audio settings and everything that comes with YouTube, but the main thing for me is about being consistent. So ideally, I'm releasing a video every Thursday, but it's probably gonna be every other Thursday, mainly just with how my work schedule is. But I do really appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching for as long as you have. If you like the channel, please subscribe and leave a like. It really helps me out and it really encourages me to make these videos more often. With that, keep creating, keep doing whatever you're doing as long as you're happy. That's the best part. All right, peace.